Hi, this is Jess Given with GDG Healthcare Architects, here to describe the difference between a non-HCAi building project and an HCAi project. So they're quite different, and so I'll just kind of go through the bullet points here and explain the difference. Non-HCAi projects are all the projects that are not related to healthcare facilities. So a typical project for a non-HCAi project would be, after the plans are approved, the contractor goes to the building department and they show their proof of insurance and license number, and they pull the permit themselves, and they're issued a building permit. It's a yellow card from the building department, and it shows all the different areas that they need to check off that need to be met: rough framing, rough plumbing, rough electrical, and so on and so forth. And when all that stuff is done, and then they get the final fixtures installed, and the building inspector will come again, then that project is signed off and it's done. That's really the extent of it, which is vastly different from a healthcare facility or an HCAi project. So to compare to that, an HCAi project, once the plans are approved, the next step is to get the design professional, which is usually an architect, collects the information from who the inspector is and who the contractor is, takes that information, uploads it to HCAi. HCAi reviews these engineers or contractors and inspectors and says, yes, these are all applicable. They can all be involved in this project, and they also want to see their workload to make sure that they can actually have capacity to take on the project, and then they issue the building permit. You still can't start construction yet. So you have approved plans, you have a building permit, and then the design professional has to then go and notify OSHPD that this project is approved, has a building permit, and now is going to start. So they issue a notice to start of construction. That tells the building department, which is OSHPD in this case, that construction is about to start. So they put it on their book to schedule to make sure that they're going to go to that site. Once they go to that site, again, construction can't start yet. You're still just meeting with the project team. OSHPD will take a look at all the forms and all the documents and the submittals and make sure that the inspectors that are identified to do the inspections and do the observing, whether you're a welder or whether you're a fire alarm vendor, to make sure that those are all licensed individuals and they're certified to do the work that they're called out to do. Now construction can start. Once construction starts, everybody knows construction invariably has changes. There's hidden conditions that result in adjusting the drawings. There's owner's changes that happen during the course of construction, and these changes are documented through what is called amended construction documents. Those amended construction documents are prepared by the engineers and the architect. They're re-uploaded to HCAi in this case. They go through a process until they're eventually approved, and then the set of documents is adjusted to include those amended documents. And that'll happen multiple times. You could have 20 amended construction documents, which are called ACDs, amended construction documents, and on a project. And by the time you're done with the project, you are not done until you've gone through several steps, which is HCAi wants every engineer that has participated on that project to submit a verified compliance form, which is a VCR, verified compliance report, that says everything under my scope was done in compliance and meets all the building codes that we designed it to. In other words, what can happen is a designer can design something, a contractor can do it a separate way and never even tell the designer to do it their own way. So it's a fail-safe because it's a hospital, because there's life safety on the table at stakes. The OSHPD tells the design team, hey, look, we're not going to sign off on this project. We're not going to let you occupy it until you've all given us your VCRs, your verified compliance report, saying everything's done, everything's in compliance, and it looks good. So we send the verified compliance reports. We upload those to HCAi, and the next step is, the final step really is, HCAi says, okay, that's great, you finished your job. Now I want to know from the owner, and I want them to sign an affidavit stating what was the final cost of the project. Because remember, all these projects, the building department bases their fees as a percentage of the construction cost. So if you go in and say, I have $1 million project, they're going to base their fee on that. But if the project really ends up being $2 million at the time it's all done, they want the owner to send an affidavit that states that this work was completed, but actually here's the final cost. And then HCAi adjusts their fees and says, okay, you actually owe us more because the project went higher. And then once they're paid, then and only then will the project be closed in compliance. Thank you.